Bro, you're literally better off going into the army than becoming an entrepreneur. So if you're in this space of the internet, it means you either have some serious balls or you're a serious wannabe. Imagine there are two people. On one corner we have Jeff, and the other corner we have Martin. These two are in front of a swimming pool. Martin gets all into the pool and starts doing all sorts of strokes, right? The backstroke, the front stroke, the doggy style. Pause. All in all to say, Martin is in that water right now. And of course, Martin doesn't fully know how to swim, but is in that water trying his level best to stay afloat and not drown. But on the other hand, Jeff is just dipping his feet in the water and kicking in there while sitting on the shore of the swimming pool. Both of them call themselves swimmers. But in your perspective, to be honest, among these two, who would you consider to be a swimmer? It would be Martin, wouldn't it? Now, similarly, that is how people behave in terms of entrepreneurship. There are people who are entrepreneurs who are posing as entrepreneurs. I know you've never probably heard of the term entrepreneur, but it's basically wannabe entrepreneur. Somebody who just embodies the characteristics of an entrepreneur, talking about entrepreneurship all the time, but when it actually comes time to work, that's when you see their true colors to say, this person is a entrepreneur. Because the main difference between these two is the entrepreneur actually takes action, is actually in the game, is actually in the risk, putting themselves in danger and trouble of drowning in that swimming pool. But the entrepreneur is just somebody who stays at the shore, kicking the feet inside, doing a few sales pages, doing this, doing that, but never really doing things that would drive sales to their business. Now, there are a lot of misconceptions out there about entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs, especially if you're in this self-improvement space. But let me tell you something that I've really wanted to say for a long time. Being an entrepreneur doesn't mean it only has to be online. You could do so many other things that would call you an entrepreneur. It doesn't only mean you need a sales page with a way that people can use to pay you on the internet. You can have several different physical businesses that you could utilize to call yourself an entrepreneur. In this video, I am going to show you a mindset shift that took place about a year ago before my business actually took off and I started making 30 grand a month. Not longer than 2 years ago, I was dead broke. I didn't even have $5 in my wallet. But a year later, now I'm ranging up to 25, 30,000. After this video, I'm even getting on a meeting on hopping on a new client. So it's possible that I may be making 30K a month starting today. So those are the numbers that I'm ranging. And it all started with one mindset shift. And I'm going to tell you what that is today. I started my agency 2 years ago. And basically my daily routine looked like every single entrepreneur out there. I would wake up in the morning, right? Around 8 o'clock in the morning. Do some scrolling on social media. And basically, I would eat breakfast, do everything that I needed to do. If it's going to school, I would go to school. And when it came to working on my business, I would do the menial tasks like redecorating my website, re-optimizing my sales page, my landing page, making posts on my Facebook page, changing my profile picture. I was doing some outreach, but to be honest with you, now that I look at the type of outreach I was doing then, a lot of it was just a big waste of time, if I'm going to be honest with you. Now, the main mindset shift that happened for me to go from being broke, being a entrepreneur, to becoming an actual independent entrepreneur who is making his dreams a reality is positive reinforcement. Back then, it was a situation where every single morning I was not doing any affirmations. I wasn't in that mind space of being the total center of my own universe, being able to understand that I am the one who can create the future that I want. Back then, if you're in the faith, you know what I'm talking about. I was more, lean towards God can see my struggle and one day He's going to come through and help me. But unfortunately, that is never the case for anyone ever. I mean, God is there and there is divine intervention every single day. But let me be honest with you, God already gave you the power to do whatever you want. He gave you the gift of free will, which means you have the free will to make the dream life that you want. And if you have the free will to also damage your life, who is God to come in and say He wants you to make your life something that would please you? You have to actually get up and actually start working and grinding and talking to yourself in a light of You got this. You're the man. You're the business owner, right? You're not supposed to tell yourself to say, no, I'm a beginner, or no, there are other people who are doing better than me, other people who are already ahead of me in this business. You need to actually have this almost delusional self-confidence and tell yourself to say, I know I may be behind on this trend. I know a lot of people are ahead of me. I know I may not have that much knowledge in the field that I'm diving in, but fuck it, I'm the fucking man, right? Because you are the fucking man. You need to prove to yourself and your subconscious mind that you are the fucking man. And if you don't, anything less than that, then you're never going to achieve anything that you want. Whenever you hop on video calls with clients, like in my case, I do SMMA and that's what mainly brings in my income. I'm also a farmer and I cultivate, I keep livestock, and basically that's what I found purpose in. And it's also $1 million business in the country that I'm in. So basically that's what I'm also building on the side. But the thing is, I need confidence in both fields. For one, people to buy my products, and for business owners to actually want to work with my agency. I need that kind of self-confidence, that kind of pep talk to say, I have the best fucking goats. I have the best fucking cows. I produce the best fucking milk. I produce the best fucking services for my clients. That's the mindset that you need to have when you're running business. And I tell you, that is going to take you a long way. You're not going to start making money in the first day of doing it. Not even in the second day. Fuck, not even in the first week. But if you keep that mindset, give it time to sink in. Give it time to adjust in your subconscious mind. My friend, you're gonna be unstoppable, and a lot of people are going to be pissed off at you for that mindset shift, because now it's going to be a situation of, oh, this guy is narcissistic. This guy now thinks he's the shit, even though he doesn't have anything. You're gonna be the center of attention, and people are gonna talk about you and are gonna bring you down. But one thing that you have to remember is you are the fucking man. As well as accountability. Another thing that separates a entrepreneur from an entrepreneur is the accountability, the humility to actually go ahead and say, this was my fault, and fixing it. Not relying on blaming external factors for fuck-ups in your business, fuck-ups in your life, fuck-ups in your family. You need to have that accountability to say, this wouldn't have happened if I didn't do X. This would have happened if I did X. This wouldn't have happened if I did X. All of these things have to be analyzed by who? You, yourself, and you. You're the only one. Basically, listen, an entrepreneur is a totally different animal compared to any person on earth, because they are just wild, man. They are killers. They are maniacs, right? Anything that happens in their life, they have to blame themselves. They are the ones who are supposed to put themselves in front of the fucking bullet. They're supposed to be the ones to take the fucking pain. And if you are not ready to take pain, rejection, and dive into risky things, then you don't have the boiling blood of an entrepreneur. What your parents say is absolutely right. Entrepreneurship is risky and it is dangerous and you could lose it all. But fuck, what do you have to lose? I'm 21 years old, I have a kid on the way, I'm making $25,000 a month, and I'm still working towards achieving my goals. And I'm not saying I'm that perfect yet. I'm still working on that self-belief, that kind of self-assurance, that kind of accountability, that kind of stress tolerance. It doesn't come in one day. The way I can tell it to you is it's like putting on muscle, right? To build that kind of I'm the fucking man type of attitude, you need to have that kind of patience. You need to have that kind of patience to wait. You don't just go on bench press 10 and be jacked the next day. You need to go on bench press 10. The next day you bench press 15. The next day you bench press 20. And you need to progressively overload this until maybe 2 months, 3 months later you're going to see a significant difference. And the way you can develop this I'm the fucking man type of attitude is waking up every single morning, looking yourself in the mirror and telling yourself, I'm the fucking man. Nobody else is the fucking man. It's not Hamza. It's not Iman Gaji. In fact, if it helps you, say to yourself that these people who got successful earlier than you got fucking lucky, right? And you could get a taste of that luck. What I'm basically saying here is that you need to brainwash yourself. Sometimes it's not bad to lie to yourself here and there, because sometimes, A little white lie doesn't hurt nobody, especially to yourself. I'm not saying you need to go start fucking doing cocaine and saying, oh, I'm not doing cocaine. That is gonna kill you. I'm going to tell you to lie to yourself that you are the fucking man, even if you're not. Because what this would do is to actually make sure that you become the fucking man. Now, am I saying entrepreneurship is going to be easy? No, sir. Entrepreneurship is gonna be hard as fuck. Bro, you're literally better off going into the army than becoming an entrepreneur. So if you're in this space of the internet, it means you either have some serious balls or you're a serious wannabe. So if you want to become an entrepreneur, you need to prepare yourself for setbacks. You need to prepare yourself for rejection. And let me tell you, you need a very high stress tolerance, because boy oh boy, are you gonna be stressed 24/7. You're gonna be late nights, early mornings, grinding, rejections, outreach, losses, especially me who is doing like not only an online business but also a farm business where animals die, where plants dry up, where I have to actually go to the market to sell shit, to employ people. That is the most stressful shit that you will ever experience. Maybe I might even be more stressed than Iman Gaji, because Iman Gaji doesn't have a fucking farm. I actually have to cater to these animals and give them medications and make sure they're not sick and do all of this shit. And it's driving me crazy just talking about it, bro. Went off on a side tangent there, but all in all to say, you need to develop a very high stress tolerance, because if you do this, then you're telling yourself that you can handle very stressful tasks. And if you can handle stressful tasks, then you, my friend, are suitable and qualified to be an entrepreneur. So the main thing that distincts the entrepreneurs from the entrepreneurs is the ability to take the fucking risk. Drop it all. Don't be afraid of drowning. Because you could drown, but it could be worse. You could be a failure. You could go into that water, fucking drown, get saved by a lifeguard. You'll be this close to death, but the next time you go into that water, you know what you did wrong. That's even much better than somebody who kicks his feet in the water, doesn't even get close to drowning, but still never ever gets a chance to swim in his life and continue calling himself a swimmer. So that's exactly the mindset that I want you to have. You need to actually go all in. You need to go all in. A lot of spurgs will be watching this video and they'll be like,
"He's telling me to start a business, but I don't want to start a business. I don't want to take the risk."
And the thing is, I don't know what those fucking people are doing on this side of the internet. You see a video about entrepreneurship, you click it, and then you start complaining once I tell you what it takes to actually become an entrepreneur. You're a fucking idiot. Can you go watch fucking Meat Canyon or Sniper Wolf? Because this is not your type of content. If you're a fireblood and this video found you for a particular reason, you are going to click the subscribe button, because you have proven that you are one of the 2% of people who are actually destined to become successful and make something out of life. If you like this video and the positive talk on how to become an entrepreneur, don't forget to like the video and make a comment down below so that you can let me know on how this video helped you, and I'll be seeing you again in the next video.